Welcome back to the backwoods backyard, and today it is time to move these chickens outside. I guess it's been, what was it? It's been about three weeks now we have had the chickens, and they've grown a lot. Getting their feathers on. Temperatures outside in the 90s now, so it's plenty warm enough for them. And they are making a mess in my basement. They're starting to tear through the newspaper, scratching. And this is one day. I mean, that newspaper, I changed it out yesterday morning. And it's too messy to be indoors, so it's time for them to go out into the real world. But first, I need to make an automatic waterer, like this old one I had, because I don't have water nearby. And it's going to be a lot cleaner system for them to always have cool water. So I can just fill up a 5-gallon bucket, bring it to the cage, and it'll last a few days. So let's get started on the project, making automatic water. Okay, for your automatic water, these are the parts that you're going to need. So these are the tools you're going to need for your automatic water. You start off with a 5-gallon bucket. You can buy you a bulkhead fitting from Lowe's. Got reverse threads on it. So you drill your hole through your bucket. And you got to put your bulkhead fitting through it. And then you go off with your PVC pipe. And that's going to be a 3/4 outlet. So buy you a few nipples, put your valve in. Then you got to reduce down to this barb fitting for a hose. And I got a spool of some 5/8 hose, fuel line hose is what I'm using. And it's good for freeze protection. Instead of crack, if it would be PVC all the way through, it would crack. But once this starts expanding, if it does freeze up, it'll just pop off these barb fittings and you won't crack any of your tubing. You just have to wait for it to defrost and slide it back on. But you can use any size diameter you need it. You just got to buy the barb fittings to match it. So then when I come off of my bucket, I'm going to have tubing hooked up to it. Then I'm going to come off and I'm going to tee off of that tubing. And I'm going to run an automatic waterer to each pin. So I needed two 3/4 pipes. And I'll have a barb fitting on the end of each pipe to hook my hose up to. And then to make your automatic waterers, you get these little nipples from Amazon or eBay. You just look up chicken nipples. And that's the 1/4-inch threads, but you just drill a 1/4-inch hole and you can self-tap it. Just start screwing it in and it'll work. And sometimes you got to put there's a little gasket on it, but it doesn't seal all the time. So you can put Teflon tape, or you can just put some PVC glue on it and screw it in real tight, and it'll seal where it won't leak. And you'll just cap off the other end. So it'll look something like this. Running my fuel line hose, hook it onto the barb connector, and I'm going to put 4 nipples, hang it down. And that'll be enough for the chickens to water themselves. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to want to do is drill my hose for my nipples. You don't want to glue up your pieces on here first, because sometimes when you drill that hole, if your PVC isn't new and kind of old and been brittle, get brittle from the sunlight, it'll want to crack when you're drilling, and then it'll never seal. It'll keep leaking. So just in case I don't get a good hole drilled through it, I can get another piece and try again, and I won't have wasted by gluing these fittings on. I'll waste the fittings if I got to start over. So we'll drill a hose in the tubing first, in the 3/4 PVC pipe first. Well, I was wrong on the pipe thread part. A 5/16 drill bit looks like it'll work. And still be able to have one of my threads can catch in the hole. your knife and kind of cut the burrs out. Clean the holes. Sure you get all the trash out because it'll clog your nipples up. You see a nail start. That's a little too tight. Try and wallow them out a little bit. There it goes. You just gotta wallow them out. This 5/16 is close. It's not 3/8 is gonna be too big, but it's a hair over 5/16. Now I'm gonna glue them on with some PVC pipe glue. Make sure you don't get none on the inside. Just want to get the outer edge of the threads. Don't take much. Just enough where you see that gasket start to flatten out. That's all you need to tighten it. I'm going to go ahead and put some more glue around it just for a little added security. There's no pressure on it. It's all gravity fed. Shouldn't be a problem. Won't hurt. Seal any little cracks just in case. Alright. I don't have any cracks around it. It's all sealed up with the glue all the way around, so it should hold. Now I'm going to put my caps on one end. And I'll put my adapter fitting on the other end. I'm going to get some Teflon tape, tape these threads. through all of them. Alright. Find your hole saw that matches up with your threads. And that's an 1.5 inches for this one. Depending on what you buy as a bulkhead fitting, it might be different. Get it close to the bottom of your bucket so you can get the last little drop of water out, or most of it anyway. Make sure you don't hit the bottom, because this is recessed in a little bit. Give yourself some space so you don't cut into the bottom. That should do it, but I'll come up a little bit more just to be safe. Uh-oh, that's the... Forgot about my nut space. Let's go hit the bottom of the bucket. Let's see how close I am. Ooh, I might make it. Got about it a little too late. It might go on. Looks like, see that washer's gonna hit the bottom of the bucket. That's what I was worried about. Oh, it barely makes it. Just barely. It got reverse threads on it. Good thing I gave that little extra inch. Extra fraction of an inch space. Worried about hitting the bottom and forgot about leaving extra room for the nut. That worked out perfect. Lucky. Very lucky. Put our valve in. Gotta have a valve so you can fill up your bucket without it running out. Shut your valve off. If you didn't have a valve, you took your bucket off and brought it to the faucet. You're filling up a bucket with a hole in the bottom of it. Get you the right tool on that crescent wrench. Don't want to score it up with a channel locks. Maybe one more turn. The gasket, everything's turning. Probably should have stopped where I was. Right about there. Ah, got my valve on backwards. Ain't gonna work like that. Alright, so what I'm going to do is have my bucket sitting on top. It's going to be full of water. The hoses will come down. And it's going to feed these two, which I'm gonna have inside the cage. And I'm gonna put it on this back wall of the cage. They'll both be on those walls with these nipples, barbed fittings sticking out through the fence, and I'll be able to just plug my holes into it. Holes will go on like so. Come down about right here, and I can put my T on it. Coming off of my T to the cage here. I'll cut it about this long. Two of them. And that'll feed my water. That'll work. Alright, I'm gonna tie wrap it on. Give me some assistance. Pass it back through here at the bottom. That's it. And hook up our hoses. Moment of truth. Bloop, bloop. Here's bubbling.